to work. I don't have to give a damn about you getting to work, Samaya.
No, you didn't. You told me that I had to pay you to get to work.
I said, do you have some money? Because I don't have none. And then I said, Bug, I got $10. But what I'm trying to tell you for next time is that you can't depend on me to pay my money and my gas to get you to and from work. That's not my responsibility. You can't get mad because I'm telling you you got to buy your own food. You're an adult. That's not my responsibility.
So you're not my mom no more because
Bug, I'm here to help you. I'm not here to put your goddamn bill.
What have you helped me with? You haven't taught me how to drive. You haven't given me that money
Where
to
do you
school.
sleep?
You haven't nothing else.
When do you brush your teeth?
Okay, so
you
what?
been washing your
Okay,
goddamn
so as soon as I
clothes.
graduate, I'm
But
supposed to
I've been taking care of you. I didn't tell
That's
you
what
you
you're
had to
supposed to
leave.
do. Yes, you
I did
did.
not tell you
Yes,
you had
you
to leave.
did.
You said, I hate it here. I hate you. I want to hurry up and move out of here.
But then you
I
said
didn't
I
come
had
in here and
30
say,
days.
Bug, pack your out.
Yes, you did.
I
You
never
literally
told
did.
you that.
Yes, you did.
No.
We can go to the messages. Yes, you did.
I told
You
you that
told
the
me
other
that
day when
2
you
weeks
told
ago
me-
that I had 30
when you
days to
told me
leave.
that you was gonna go anyway, Bug. Well,
Okay.
you're supposed to be going
I
to
was
work.
planning not to
You didn't take
leave.
your ass to work. Why? Because you got fired. That's how I know you didn't
Because
even
of
go to
you.
work. No, because of you, Bug. Because
You were the
all
one
I
that
said
didn't
was,
take
Bug.
me.
Bug, how much money you make? How much money do you make?
Not $2,000. I barely make $1,000 a month.
You make $1,000 a month.
Barely.
You told me you make $2,000 a month.
Barely.
But it doesn't even matter, Bug. All I asked for was $50 to $100 out of that. That
A
would
week.
still left you with.
A week.
No, I said when you get paid.
Every
50
week.
to 100. I didn't know when you got paid. That's why I asked you. Either way, you would have still had a bulk of money left, Bug. All I said was help me.
So
You're
you-
causing me to have to pay. I called you to make sure that you had a ride to work.
So, this is my first time watching this fully. The first time I saw it, I saw a couple seconds of it, and I was like, I'll do this on the channel. I'll go over this on the channel. But this was huge in the media for a couple, at least for a day or two, because people were allegedly mad at the mom. And they were saying that the mom was out of order. And yeah, I realized that the tone and all the yelling, so I apologize for the volume of this video because it's very loud. But people were mad at the mom for her message to her kid, which was essentially, yo, you're 18 now. I need you to pay $50 to $100 out of every check that you get when you get paid so that you can start helping me out around the house. Couple things to go through here. One, it's obvious that there's no male figure or father figure present in the home, because if there was, there's no way this daughter would be sitting up here arguing with her mother like she is. And young people want to record everything. They think everything is for social media. But I think this backfired on this young lady. For one, you're going to record your moms. This is a level of disrespect that I talk about often. I see often in the younger generation. This is why I also believe that they're cooked. The younger generation doesn't have any respect for their parents. She sat up there and she told her mom, she asked her mom to her face, "What have you done for me?" Well, I raised you 18 years. Who do you think provided for you throughout those years? It was me. Who do you think covered you throughout those years? It was me. Who do you think cried every night, making sure that I struggled through everything that I was going through in my personal life to make sure you was good? It was me. So the argument that they're having is the daughter doesn't believe that she should have to pay her mother to stay there, to live there. In other words, she don't believe she should have to pay rent, room and board in order to live with her mother. And I've seen a lot of parents do this. I don't personally agree with it, but I understand it. Now, if there's a certain point, I do. If your kid is 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 years old, staying with you, and you are struggling and you ask them for some help because you know that they're working, I don't see a problem with that. I don't see a problem with your parents asking. Now, would I do it? Would I do it? Probably not. Probably not. But you're also not going to stay with me rent free when you're 22, 23 years old. You're not going to stay with me rent free and continue and do nothing. Right? And I think the bigger thing here is the mother was trying to teach this. There's a couple lessons to learn here for this kid. You're learning a little bit of responsibility. You're learning that the world isn't your oyster. This is not a game. And see, when we graduate high school, we need to have a plan. They don't teach our kids this. When I was in high school, they came to us and they talked about us joining the military and they talked about us going into college. They weren't real with us as far as what is actually waiting out here in the real world. They didn't say that half of y'all in this room is not going to college. That most of y'all need to go as soon as you graduate high school and go find a job. They didn't tell us that. They should have, but they weren't real enough to tell us that. My kid now, I have a 19-year-old. He recently got a job. You know what I told him to do with his money? The first things I told him to do with his money is open up a savings account and an investing account. He did both. And I told him how much to fund for both of those accounts. And I told him to continue to do that throughout his career, no matter what job he has. I gave him a certain percentage to invest, and I gave him a certain percentage to save. And I said, if you follow this rule, I promise you, by the time you're my age, you will be wealthy. No matter where you work. But these kids today think that it's your job to continue to make sure that they have everything in life without any struggles or responsibility. And that's just simply not the case. That's simply not the case. If you go out and get a job, it's not on your parent to figure out how to get you to and from that job. We're talking about gas here. We're talking about time here. My oldest son had to learn that the hard way. His job had called him to work some overtime. And he was like, yeah, I'm thinking about working the overtime. And I said, how you going to do that? Who going to get you there? You don't have your license yet. You're not ready. You don't have a car. You don't have a car. How you going to get there? And I got to work. How you going to get there? Oh, I didn't think about that. How didn't you think about that? That's one of the first things you should have thought about. But these young kids, their minds are not where they should be. They're still young. I have to remember that as a dad, right? I have to constantly remind myself that he looks older than he is mentally. Because I'm expecting him to mind through things and think through things like I think about them currently. And at 19, I wasn't thinking that way. I wasn't thinking the way that I think now because I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. Which is why I'm trying to instill it into him early. But there's still some growing pains, but I got a good boy. Never been in any trouble. I don't have any complaints out of him. Honestly, really. I got a few, but typical parenting, right? But this situation here is the same thing. You got a kid who seems that they're ungrateful of what her mother has done. And it sounds like she's been a single mom for, I don't know, maybe throughout her entire life. And she thinks that her mother should be putting gas, funding her trips, taking her to and from work, and making sure that she get there on time. Listen, you are a young adult at this point. When you take on a job responsibility, you made a commitment with your job, with the people you work for. That's not my obligation. That's your obligation. So it's on you to figure out how to honor that commitment that you made. That's a part of adulting. Welcome to the real world. Let me run a little bit of this back.
I don't have to give a damn about you getting work, Samaya.
No, you didn't. You told me that I had to pay you to get to work. And I
I said, do you have some money? Because I don't have none. And then I said, Bug, I got $10. But what I'm trying to tell you for next time is that you can't depend on me to pay my money and my gas to get you to and from work. That's
Yeah. Yep. I agree 1000%. Y'all may not like her tone. Y'all may think that she could have said it in a different way, delivered it in a different way. That's fine. Some kids need that, though. But for her to sit there and go back and forth and even have a little tiff back and forth, you sitting up here telling me that I ain't done nothing for you? The arrogance of you. These kids are arrogant. They'll tell you ain't done nothing for them ever. Why you're literally chauffeuring them back and forth to and from. I had an obligation to raise you and to protect you and to make sure you have food on the table while you were young. You're not young no more. You're a young adult. And while I don't agree with throwing your kids to the wolves at age 18 and 19, and as soon as they get out of high school because they're not prepared, they're not ready for what's to come. While I don't agree with that, I do agree with putting some level of responsibility on them as young adults so that they can get in the habit of having to do things themselves and deal with the consequences of their choices. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. I thought this was very interesting to discuss amongst us parents. If you're a parent, let me know. Drop a comment down below. I'll holler at y'all later. Appreciate y'all later.